Shaw community, we are back.
Yay!
I'm JB and
I'm AB.
Jay Barnard, Ashley,
Bocage.
and we are the recovery couple coming to you on our third episode.
Yes.
Third episode. Third episode. Tonight's actually tonight is actually a very special day. Ashley is celebrating 18 months of continuous sobriety. Woo, woo,
Yay.
woo, 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 woo. 18 months of continuous. How many days is that?
I didn't look.
Okay, so
540 something, I believe.
546. Wow.
I
Don't quote us, but it's 546-ish days of continuous sobriety, and I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of me too.
I love you lots.
I love you too.
So I happen to have this one right here. This one right here is my 18 months of sobriety, which is 11. This is 11 years old. I put it in my pocket today to just have in my pocket to think about what 18 months was like for me, because Ashley is celebrating 18 months today. And it's crazy the amount of memories that got flooded of where I was at 18 months and where I am today at 13 years. At 18 months, I sure wasn't where Ashley was, and Ashley's going to tell you what it's been like to get to 18 months and all her positives and all her negatives and all the things that she's learned. But, for me, 18 months, a year and a half, right? Like you get to that 1 year of being clean and sober, and it's every single month, you're just like, it's 30 days, it's 60 days, it's 90 days, it's 120 days, it's 150 days, it's 180 days, you're at 6 months, and you're like, holy cow, I made it to 6 months clean and sober. Then it's 7 months, then it's 8 months, and then it's 9 months. And then it's 10 months, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm at 10 months clean and sober, which is like 300 days, right? Like you're 304 days or 5 days or something like that. But that's DAYS, not DAZE. And then you're at like 11 months, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm almost at a year clean and sober. How did this happen? Right? How did this happen? How did this happen? How did I do this? How did I do this? And then you celebrate 1 year. And 1 year is a huge milestone. Every single day is a huge milestone. Yeah. But to get to 365 DAYS's, not DAZE, is a supreme accomplishment. But, the interesting thing is the work doesn't stop once you hit a year. The work doesn't stop when you hit another day. But the interesting thing is that from 365 days to 18 months, that's a 6 month lot. That's when you get your next.
There you go.
your next
medallion.
Your next medallion, your next win, your next accomplishment, your next, right? So there's 6 months there where in early recovery, you're getting like recognized every single month. You're getting like a little reward every single month. To get to the 1 year to the 18 months is tricky, and from the 18 months to 2 years is tricky, and then it's from 2 years to 3 years, and then it's just every year after that. So I was thinking, where was I at 18 months? 5 months clean and sober. I left. I don't like to use the word graduation. I was in a treatment center, all-male treatment center in Ottawa, Ontario, called the Anchorage Boost Center, driven by the Salvation Army. And, they'd call graduation when you finish the program. And for me, graduation, that word really messed me up, because every time I thought of graduation, I drank or I used or I partied. You too? Or did you ever graduate and just go on a big party spree?
Oh, yeah.
Right. So what was interesting for me is that, so I always asked, I was like, okay, I'm an alcoholic and an addict. What am I graduating from? How do you graduate from an alcoholic and an addict? What do you graduate to? An alcoholic and an addict? A reformed alcoholic and an addict? What do you graduate to? And for me, it really brought a lot of fear into going into society. That word. So for me, it was a 4-month program. I stayed an extra month and a half, but during that extra month and a half, I came up with a word that I wanted to use, which was called transitioning. And that's truly what we do, right? I transitioned out of treatment into second stage, which was called the Liberty House. That gave me all the tools, all the support, all the guidance, all the things that I needed in order to build a foundation that I already had built in treatment, but I needed to get to that second level of foundation in order to have, my house starting to go up, my walls starting to go up in recovery. So, for me, it's about transitioning, right? So I transitioned out of treatment into society. I need to learn how to do these things without using every single day. I need to learn how to do these things without drinking every single day, because it's just like, okay, bye, see you later, out into the real world, right? And how do you figure out what the real world is? When for so long myself I used, and that's, Diz, ease, right? And Diz, and then I'd medicate myself with the ease, which was the drugs and alcohol. So, and then at 9 months, I enrolled myself into Algonquin College to become a chef in the chef apprentice program. And also I was looking at 5 years in prison for possession of the purpose of trafficking cocaine for the 5th time, not for the 5th time. And what was funny about that at 9 months is I was actually like, I had accepted the fact of what I did. So, I knew at if I did 5 years, I'd be looking at 3.5. So I would get out of prison and I'd have 4.5 years, clean and sober. I would be 32 and a half years old. I could start my life over at 32 and a half years old. I could, be a piece of the past that was holding me from moving forward. I would have taken care of. And I was okay with that. I really was okay with that and accepted that. And I ended up going back and getting an 18-month sentence. Judge Frazier, God rest his soul, he said, I've never seen anybody work so hard to get their life back. And he gave me an opportunity. So with recovery comes opportunity, which is kind of exciting, because with using and drinking, the only opportunity I had was to use and drink more because I needed to kill the pain. And so I went back to Ottawa and dove into the apprenticeship program to be a chef, and met some great chefs and started doing some really cool things with food, and created Chef Recovery and created the dishes and created the artistry on the plates of my pain and how I felt, and created these dishes, and was on this journey to be a chef and teach myself how to be the best chef that I could be through a lot of help. And there's a lot of struggles going through college, learning how to do college, coming up with the funds for college. I almost quit first semester because I just couldn't handle it. I was too kind of busy, and I was 29 years old. Going back to college a little later in life was tough. Also, there was the bars and stuff on campus, and but I never gave up. And the Algonquin College really, truly supported me in that avenue because I had asked for help. So I also learned, asking for help, wasn't a weakness, it was actually a strength. And when you ask for help, lo and behold, you get help, and you actually get to move forward in a positive direction, because all the questions that you have in your mind that you're so scared to ask, the answers actually get answered because you asked for the help. I moved out of second stage at about 18 months. I moved into a bachelor apartment, so I had to learn how to live on my own. I had to learn how to pay my own bills. I had got a job at the Delta Hotel. I was a third cook there. One of the chefs at the college hired me, Kenton Lear. I'll always be forever grateful for Kenton Lear for giving me the opportunity. Kenton Lear really showed me that if you work really hard, you can really get what you want in life. He also showed me compassion when it came to a person that gave people chances, right? Because I was given a chance. So he gave me the opportunity of chance. So with recovery comes opportunity of chance, right? So you get a chance to do something. You got a chance to be somebody. You got a chance to have something. You have a chance, right? That's the beautiful thing about recovery. Also, during that time, I remember going to the court office and trying to get my license back. I had $66,000 in unpaid fines that accumulated ever since 1998. And in order to get my license back, I had to pay back all these fines. Lucky for me, I went through credit counseling. A guy by the name of Bruce Thomas, who's a true friend. I still stay in contact with him today. He was my counselor, and I worked through paying that debt off, and eventually was able to go get my license. So what I'm trying to say is, like, these are the thoughts that were going through my mind today while I held this this serious milestone that Ashley has hit today. And what's kind of cool is that, I've been able to relive all my early days in recovery through Ashley. And Ashley has really reignited the recovery. She's really revitalized my recovery. She's really helped rejuvenate me, give me my pep back. Because what's interesting is I'm teaching her my recovery, but she's teaching my recovery back to me, which is so cool. Like that is like the coolest thing in the world. So, 18 months, everything she's accomplished with getting, her kids back in her life, which is amazing. Her mom's back in her life. Her family's slowly coming back into her life. She has a great job. She has some serious support. Just me saying, let's do the recovery couple, and just us go out there and do it and break the stigma together and share our stories together, because you never know who's listening, and who, as we're helping ourselves, we're actually helping other people. And from all the podcasts that we've been able to do to all the stories in recovery and the recovery community that have really took us in, eh?
No,
they've really taken us in. And
I've never felt so much love from people. You're loved by your family, you're loved by your friends, but from people that you have that common bond with. Like, I've never felt so much love and so much respect and so much, the biggest cheerleaders I think I ever have.
And they're all across the world, everywhere in South Africa and Florida and Chicago.
Man, it's the most
Montreal. Like, we have people, Edmonton.
Thing.
We have people everywhere.
They just want to see you succeed.
They just want to see you succeed.
See the best. It's the beautiful thing about being part of a recovery community is that,
you're never alone.
You're never alone, and you will always have someone who's in your corner who's cheering you on. Always, hands down. I've never heard of, I've never heard anything other than that. So it's a pretty spectacular thing to be a part of, especially when you're in active addiction and you feel alone, and you don't trust people, and you want to do it your way, or you don't need help, and once you finally surrender and you accept the fact that you are an alcoholic and an addict, the sky's the limit. Like it truly is the limit. 18 months ago.
So 18 months ago, so she's gonna crack open and tell you about what 18 months is. But I'm super proud of you. I love you. 18. This thing's 11 years old, and this is what the program is about. The program is about giving back. Ashley has 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. My 1 year, and now my 18 months.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome, sweetie.
Thank you very much. Yeah, like I was saying 18 months ago, my life did not look like this. I didn't even look like this.
A hot spinning mess.
I was a Tasmanian devil, to say the nice way. I didn't know if I was coming or going. I didn't know.
Well, I was the hot mess. You're the Tasmanian
well,
devil.
even I want to say, like, I don't know. I met you at 5 months, so just even like in the first 5 months of my recovery, it was intense. I couldn't find 2 feet on the ground. I was just a spinning.
Well, why were you
monster.
spinning though?
Well, I was spinning because I couldn't.
Too much coming at you.
Recovery was not what I thought. Like, I just didn't understand it, right?
Okay, so what were you trying to understand?
So when you come into recovery, there's lots of suggestions.
Oh.
I will say suggestions of how people do their recovery, and that is perfectly fine for them and what works for them. And of course, they want what's best for you and suggest what they've done and what's worked for them. Well, when you have so many people doing that, there's a lot of suggestions. And me being me, I didn't want to fail, right? And I'm a people pleaser, and I wanted to make sure I was doing every single way to make sure I wasn't hurting anybody's feelings.
So you weren't thinking of Ashley?
No, because I didn't even know who I was, right? So I thought one of these ways has got to work, you know, and it'll get me where I gotta go. But I couldn't just. There's too much, right? So instead of having
you're like in a maze.
And having my feet on the ground, I was going in circles, and I was white knuckling it, and I was saying, this can't be what recovery is. This can't be recovery. Why do people do this? You know, and I was not at the point of you know, going back out and using, but I can almost say that if I would have continued down the path I was going, I don't know if I would be here. I'm not saying I wouldn't, but I can't guarantee you. Not that I can guarantee anyways, but.
Did you have reservations back in the first 5 months of using?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yes. You know, I always wondered. I'm like, well, you know, I thought.
Could you get to a year and then have a drink? Is that kind of thing?
Well, okay. I thought I could control things. So my whole point before I came into recovery is when I was in treatment, I was going to control my using. I wasn't going to use. I was gonna be able to drink. So I didn't actually believe I was an alcoholic the first time. This isn't my first time doing this. This is my second time. My first time I made it to 90 days without using or drinking. And then I said, okay, let's celebrate, and I'm going to have a drink.
Oh, so you drank about it.
I did. I drank about it. So that doesn't work.
Well, it doesn't work for you.
For me. I'm not saying it couldn't work for anybody else, but for me, I need complete abstinence from drugs and alcohol to be able to live a positive and a positive life. So about 5 months, I met Jay, and I saw Jay, and Jay kind of showed me.
The interesting thing is we didn't even know each other.
We didn't know each other.
We didn't know each other. I didn't know her from a hole in the ground. She didn't know me. I don't know how she didn't know me. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. So we didn't know each other.
No,
we lived in the same city.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, we didn't know each other, and we had a mutual friend, I guess, who spoke about me. Was really proud of me for trying and to one foot in front of the other. And anyways, it made my way to Jay, and so Jay and I finally met each other, and our common bond is that we're both in recovery. And that's how it started.
Well, our common bond was we were two hot messes. That was the common. We were two hot. God delivered us together because we were two hot messes to help each other.
Yep. Anyway, so play it a little bit forward. Here we are. But I saw Jay, and I didn't know how to place Jay or where to place him. And I think I've said this before: is he actually enjoyed his life. He looked like he was happy. He had fun. He had sparkle. He enjoyed You know, he enjoyed what he was doing, and I wanted that. And they say once you become in recovery, that you're attracted to people, they have is what you want, kind of thing, right? And I saw that out of Jay, and I'm like, I that's what I need, that's what I want, that's what I want recovery to look like for me. So, you know, Jay had fun, you know, and that was a thing I didn't understand, because I didn't know how to have fun without having a drink in my hand or having something in my pocket, or, you know, I didn't know how to do that. So, you know, I didn't know how to place Jay, and I didn't know where to put him. And, you know, as I got to meet him and get to know him as a person, you know, I started to trust, which is a big thing when you come into recovery. You don't trust anybody, and you don't trust yourself. You don't know who you are, and you think they're out to get you. So you're going to get them before they get you, kind of thing. That's
I was trying to get her before she got me,
yeah.
so.
And then I learned what recovery worked for me, and I actually learned how to put myself first.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a big one. First and doing recovery for you is very.
So
hard
if you're
to
helping
stay
yourself,
sober.
you can help other people.
Absolutely, and so that was a big thing for me to actually do what worked for me, and it wasn't the way, you know, so and so did it or this way, and that's okay. You know, and their way will work for somebody, you know, somebody else, and that's amazing. But it's a lot of work. This is a lot of work, and this is a lifelong journey. The hardest, most beautiful, most freeing, most exciting, most at times, you know, not exciting journey I've ever been on, and I wouldn't change it for the world. You know, I've learned that it's okay to feel things and it will pass. I've learned it's okay to cry and that's not weak. I've learned to communicate, which is huge.
Cool.
Huge, right? So I was always the kind of person that you suck it up. Suck it up and move on. Doesn't work. You know, you stuff and you're gonna explode. So I've learned over time to actually communicate, and that my feelings are valid, and it's okay to feel angry, or it's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to be happy, and it's okay, because it's
to
okay for how
boundaries
I feel.
up too.
And put boundaries. Boundaries are a huge thing. You know, before I came into recovery, I didn't have my children in my life. I almost lost my home. I had no family, no friends. I was really losing everything, you know, and for that, I mean, I'm truly grateful. Today, I have the best relationships with my daughters, the best relationship. I have a great relationship, you know, in the process with my mom, you know, and I get to be here with my mom for the rest of her days, which is an amazing thing. I would have never thought I would be able to do that.
Yeah, that one's pretty spectacular.
I have, you know, new friends. I have old friends, you know, good friends that are in my life, and I have a huge support network of people that believe in me, you know, and by me opening up and communicating and telling bits and pieces of my story, and I'm just learning my story and how to communicate it properly, it's a pretty spectacular thing, you know, by doing podcasts, by doing lives, by just sharing who I am and what has worked for me, and my struggles, my fears, you know, and everything in between.
So are you accountable for Ashley today?
I am. I'm very accountable, and you know, I've learned patience, which is that's probably been one of the most amazing gifts I think I've learned over this time, is patience and to pause. I used to be a very explosive person, and it would blurb out before I actually thought about what I was going to say. And I hurt a lot of people by the words I've said, and you can't take back words. So I've learned to pause, and I've learned to just take a step back and play the tape forward, as they say.
Yeah, your processing ability in the last 6 months is really it's very impressive. Just, you know, because I'm with you, you know, a lot of the time. I mean, we don't spend, you know, sometimes we don't see each other for a week, just because I have destiny and there's just, you know,
and work and
busy, and I'm an entrepreneur, and life. So for me, it's really been remarkable to watch this spinning tornado that showed up at my door with my 5-month chip that a mutual friend of ours gave to her, that he actually had, that I gave to him when he celebrated 5 months. So the interesting thing today for me is handing over 18 months to her, and just actually seeing. Yeah, I think that the most beautiful thing that warms my heart is Ashley today, and that's where the true success is. That's where the true, when you can actually honestly be authentically you and slowly let go of your secrets to help yourself, and while you're doing that, you're helping somebody else. I mean, that's recovery, and I've watched her change. Like, she's not the same person she used to be when I met her at 5 months. I didn't, she is Ashley today, and the most beautiful thing is seeing people reach out to her and ask her for help, but actually seeing her smile every day, seeing her happy every day, seeing her struggle at times too, because guess what, that's really refreshing for a guy that's 13 years clean and sober, seeing somebody struggle, because guess what, I struggle too. So it's really refreshing for her to see a guy that has a few more days than 2 struggle, because we bleed the same blood. We're all the same. We all struggle. But we have a common bond. And the common bond with Ashley and I is, we're alcoholics and addicts. So most times I know how Ashley is feeling before Ashley knows, and most times Ashley knows how I'm feeling before I know. And that is the killer thing and awesome thing about breaking the stigma about 2 people being in recovery, is that, we support each other, we love each other, we care about each other, we want the best for each other. But most importantly, we relate to each other. And I don't want it any other way. I don't. I love what we do. I love how we're helping people, but I love that we're helping ourselves to get better on a daily basis.
We're helping each other grow.
Yeah,
because we grow. It's crazy how much we both have grown, and he sees it in me, and I see it in him. But I couldn't imagine.
In such a short period of time, too. Like, we've only been together 13 months, so it's remarkable to see. And we're here to tell you, you're not alone. This is her second kick at the can, and she just made it to 18 months. So if Ashley can do it, anyone can do it, right? You just got to put the work in. You just got to put work in.
You're going to put in, you put 110% into your addiction, whatever it was. So why wouldn't you put 110% into your recovery? That's probably one of the most important things when I was in treatment that I learned, that has always stuck with me, and this time around it actually, I say it quite often. There's times where I'm frustrated and I'm sad and I'm like, what is the point? And it's like, no. 110%, Ashley. You put in 110%. You can do this. And you move on.
Dress up, show up, take part in life.
Yes.
That's all you got to do. Don't pick up today. I'd rather live in a beach.
No.
I'd rather live in a tent in love on a beach than in a mansion alone. You're never, ever
alone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.